Checking the fluid levels in your vehicle regularly is one of the easiest and most important ways to keep your engine running smoothly and avoid costly repairs. So let's take a look at how to check all of the fluids under the hood and how to add to them if they need it. First of all, park on level ground in order to make sure you get accurate fluid level readings. Then you'll need some shop towels or clean lint-free cloths. A funnel will come in handy to avoid spills in case you need to add any fluids. For all fluids except for the transmission fluid, leave the engine off while checking them, but always refer to your owner's manual for specific instructions for your vehicle. You don't have an owner's manual? No problem. You can look them up online. If you aren't sure where everything is located under your hood, your owner's manual will have an engine layout for you to look at, showing where things are. Here's that page for my vehicle, showing where to find the oil filler cap, oil dipstick, brake fluid reservoir, coolant reservoir, and windshield washer fluid reservoir. And here's my actual engine with those same locations showing. Let's check the engine oil first. Check your oil level when the engine is cool, so that all the oil would be down in the oil pan to give you an accurate reading. So for the engine to be cool, you'd want to check it before you drive it for the first time that day, or if you've only driven it about a mile, or after you've driven it and the engine has had time to completely cool down. Then locate the dipstick. It usually has a yellow or orange handle. Mine is yellow. Pull the dipstick all the way out. Wipe it clean with a shop towel or a lint-free cloth and then reinsert it fully. Pull it out again. Hold the dipstick horizontal and flat so the oil doesn't run and drip off, and read the oil level markings at the bottom of it. Oil dipsticks can have different oil level indicators at the bottom that show the safe range for the engine's oil to be in. You should see oil on the dipstick, falling between markings such as min at the bottom for low oil and max at the top for full level, or L and H for low and high. But there may also be just two dots or holes to show low and high levels, or there may be a section of hash marks designating the safe oil level range, or as in this case, both of those. The oil level in my car is showing that it's at the top of the safe range, so I'm good. That range generally represents a quart of oil. So if the oil on the dipstick is halfway between the low and high markings, your engine is roughly half a quart low, and you should add some oil. Conveniently, if you need to add oil, it does come in 1 quart bottles. If it's a half a quart low or lower, locate the oil filler cap on top of the engine. The cap will usually have an oil can symbol with a drip coming off of it, or it may just have wording on it like engine oil or SAE 5W30, indicating what weight of oil to put in it. Clean off the area around this cap before adding oil to make sure no dirt or debris will fall in, and also do the same for all the other fluid caps you open. Unscrew and remove the cap. Then place a clean funnel in the oil filler opening and pour the correct oil type in slowly, and always check the owner's manual for the right type of oil you're supposed to use. Start with adding about half a quart of oil. Wait 2 minutes to give the oil time to drain down to the oil pan, and then recheck the oil level the way you did before. Continue adding small amounts till its level is very near the max or high marking, but be careful not to go over the max line. And while you're at it, check the oil's color. Golden or light brown equals good. Very dark, gritty, or milky means it's time for an oil change, or you've got a possible problem. And get oil changes for your vehicle at the very least on the schedule shown in the owner's manual, which could be anywhere between 3,000 to 10,000 miles. And as with every fluid you check, make sure you put the cap back on securely. Now let's check the brake fluid. With a cool engine, locate the brake fluid reservoir near the back of the engine compartment. The fluid tank is translucent, so you can see the level of fluid on the inside. The cap will usually have the symbol of a wheel with brake pads on either side of it, and may be marked .3 or .4, indicating the type of fluid to use in it. It's also normally lined up with where the brake pedal is inside the vehicle. The brake fluid should be somewhere between min and max. Mine is in good shape where it's at. If it's low, or you just want to get it up closer to max, remove the cap and use a clean funnel to add the correct brake fluid listed in your owner's manual, making sure not to fill it above the max line. Your brake fluid should be almost clear or a very light brown. If it's very low or dirty, dark brown or black, your brake system may have a leak or needs service. Next, let's check the coolant antifreeze level. This is the coolant reservoir on this car. But first of all, before I go any further, do not ever open the coolant reservoir or the radiator when the engine is hot. Removing the cap when the engine is hot can cause the scalding hot, pressurized liquid inside to rush outward and upward and can cause very serious burns to your hands and face. Let the engine cool down first before checking it. A good time to check it is before you drive your vehicle for the first time that day. The coolant reservoir will have min and max or low and full markings on it, and the coolant should be between these lines. On this tank, the max line is right in the middle of the tank here, and mine is right where it should be. But if it would be low, use a clean funnel and add a 50-50 coolant water mix. You can buy coolant that already comes pre-mixed, making it a very easy thing to do. Do not fill past the max line when the engine is cold. And finally, on this car at least, check the windshield washer fluid. The windshield washer fluid tank is over here to the right side on my car. The cap usually has a windshield being sprayed symbol on it, or it may just say something like washer fluid only. Check the fluid level by looking at the side of the washer fluid tank. If you can't see that very well, open the cap and look down inside. If it looks like the level in the reservoir is low or out of sight, fill it up with washer fluid until it's near the top. This one doesn't normally have a marked fill line. Just don't overfill it. Those were all the fluid levels that I could check in this vehicle. But there are two other fluids that many vehicles have: power steering fluid and automatic transmission fluid. My vehicle doesn't use power steering fluid as it has electric power steering. My vehicle does use transmission fluid, but doesn't have a dipstick that would allow me to check it. It's considered a sealed system, meant to only be serviced by a mechanic. But many vehicles do have ways to check these two fluids, like this older vehicle. This is what its engine compartment looks like in the owner's manual, and here's the real thing with the fluids marked. Let's check the power steering fluid first. Locate the power steering reservoir. The cap often has a steering wheel symbol on it, or it might be labeled steering fluid. Some vehicles have an actual dipstick attached below the cap to measure the fluid level, but this car has min and max markings on the outside of the tank. Look in your owner's manual for specific instructions for your vehicle, but in general, check it as follows. Start the engine and let it sit and run until it reaches normal operating temperature. That could be a few minutes, say 5 to 10 minutes or more, but it's actually however long it takes for the temperature gauge on your instrument panel to get up to its usual temperature reading that it stays at during normal driving conditions. Once your engine is warmed up, turn the steering wheel left all the way and then right all the way several times in order to circulate the fluid in the system and warm it up. Then turn the engine off. Check the fluid level. If the fluid is at or below the min line, which it is right here, remove the cap and add fluid slowly using a clean funnel until it reaches the correct level, stopping just below the max line. Use only the recommended power steering fluid listed in your owner's manual, or you may damage your system. For this car, it happens to be Mercon ATF fluid. And finally, here's how to check the transmission fluid. Park on level ground and start the engine. Let the engine run and warm up for several minutes, again until it reaches normal operating temperature. Then shift through all the gears, and once you've done that, put it back in park. Or you can simply check this fluid after you've been driving for a while and the engine is already heated up, which is the way I like to do it. With the engine still running and the car in park, pull out the transmission fluid dipstick, which often has a handle on it that is red or pink, but there can be different colors, and this one has a black handle. Wipe the dipstick clean, reinsert all the way, remove it, lay it flat, and check the level. The fluid should be between the min-max markings to be in the safe range. Some dipsticks may be marked with cold and hot areas, in which case you'd want the fluid to be showing in the hot area. The fluid should look bright red or pinkish to be in good condition. If it's dark or smells burnt, have it checked by a mechanic. If the transmission fluid is on the low end, which it is in this case, and with the engine still running, add the correct fluid carefully and in small amounts, such as 1/4 of a quart, adding it through the dipstick tube using a clean funnel. A funnel like this with a narrow diameter opening at the bottom works best for putting the fluid down the narrow tube. After adding fluid, wait 2 minutes and check the fluid level again. Add another 1/4 of a quart if necessary, and so on until you get close to the max line. But don't overfill it. Overfilling it can damage your transmission, so stop adding fluid when you get close to the max line. To sum it all up, you should check your fluid levels at least once a month, and more often if you frequently drive in stop-and-go traffic, extreme weather, especially hot weather, or dusty, dirty conditions. And always check fluids before making long road trips. And there you have it, a quick guide on the essential fluids you should regularly check in your car. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and subscribe for more automotive and driving tips. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and drive safe.